Hi everyone, it's Øyvind Martinsen here, and in this video I'm going to teach you about the basics of autofocus, manual focus and the image stabilizer. So when do we use autofocus and when do we use manual focus? Some people get confused about these two focusing methods. In this chapter I will explain more about the differences and the use of them. Later in the training program, you will also see practical examples of the use in various situations. In this video, I will also teach you about the image stabilizer and when to use it and when not to use it, and the two different stabilizing modes. Most lenses today have autofocus, but there are still some without. If you have a lens with autofocus, there is an on-off switch on the lens. AF equals autofocus. MF equals manual focus. The use of the autofocus is good when you are shooting action like wildlife and sports. Manual focus is best when you are working on more still subjects. If you are working with the autofocus, you can adjust how the autofocus operates by switching between continuous focus and one-shot autofocus in the camera settings. One-shot autofocus focuses the camera once and maintains that focus no matter where you point your camera, and it does not change focus if your subject or camera moves. But with the use of continuous focus, defined as AI servo on some cameras, the camera will constantly refocus as your subject and camera move. If you are taking pictures of moving subjects like for example birds, then you can use the autofocus in continuous focus mode. If you are working on more still subjects, you can use one-shot focus mode. If you are working on landscapes, macro and other still subjects, switch to manual focus mode. You will also save battery when working in manual mode. When you are using one of the autofocus modes, you can also select the focus points. Each camera model has different focus points. It can, for example, be a single focus point or a center-weighted cluster of focus points. You can use the single focus point when you want your focus on one particular area in your picture. For example, on a bird inside a dense forest. You can also use manual focus with success here. If you are working on, let's say, birds in flight, you can use several center-weighted focus points. You can also adjust how fast your autofocus operates in your camera menu. Read your camera manual and learn the details on how these things works on your camera model. Some lenses have built-in image stabilizer. The image stabilizer will help you getting sharper images when using handheld camera. You can take sharp images with a little bit longer shutter speeds than you could without an image stabilizer. If you are using a handheld camera, always leave the image stabilizer on. On Canon telephoto lenses and most other brands that have telephoto lenses, there are two modes for image stabilizing when it's switched on. And number one is used when you have more still and static subjects. Number two is used when you have moving subjects. When you are using your camera on a tripod, turn off the image stabilizer on your lens. The image stabilizer will look for camera shake, and if it doesn't find it, like when a tripod, it will create a shake and your images will be unsharp. It is important that you practice the use of these settings and when to use them, so they become second nature. Repeat and repeat. Thank you for being with me in this video. See you in the next.